Welcome to this webinar, Coping with Anxiety, How to Calm Your Nervous System. Thank you for making the time to be with me. To get better connectivity, I suggest that you close all other internet connections, and to stay focused, shut off any other distractions. So what is it that's important about anxiety? What makes it such an issue? It feels horrible. Nobody likes the feeling of tension and that comes with it. It keeps you stuck. When you're anxious, your thoughts keep going round and round in circles, and it's hard to move forward and make decisions. Also, it lowers your immunity to illness. And research shows that 95% of illness is related to stress. If it's not directly caused by stress, then the symptoms are aggravated by stress. I'm Marion Nixon, a positive results coach. I'm also an advanced emotional freedom techniques practitioner and have had 20 years experience in natural health. During that time, I have come to realize that good health starts in the mind, not the body. It is how we think that creates the optimum thing in your body to keep you well. If you're anxious all the time, you're more prone to becoming ill. If you can have positive thoughts, then your immune system is boosted. So what causes anxious feelings in the first place? Because nobody really wants them. It starts with some sensory input, some external trigger that creates a thought. And that input goes through a part of your brain called the hippocampus. For short, I call it Hippo. And Hippo is a database manager because your hippocampus is really a kind of a database. It stores all the memories from the past, and everything that comes in, any new sensations, new thoughts, goes through your database to see whether it resembles in any way something from the past. All those memories are tagged either safe or dangerous. If the new information resembles a safe memory, then the message that goes to the next part of your brain involved, the amygdala, or we call her Amy, she's the kind of messenger, but go-between. She gets a message that this incoming information is safe, and she sends smiley messages to the hippocampus, or Hi, the chemist. And he sends out a chemical formula to the endocrine system, to glands, to produce happy hormones. But if the incoming information it tags an old memory that's labeled dangerous, then Amy gets hysterical. And she will send danger messages to Hi, who then sends out a formula to your glands to produce stress hormones, adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cortisol. And that takes us into what I call lion territory. The response in our body is what we call fight, flight, and sometimes freeze, when you can't run or fight. And these responses developed when humans still lived in caves to protect us from wild animals, that I call lions. And the effect that these chemicals have on your body, they increase your heart rate, they put your nervous system into high alert, your breathing will become shallow, and your muscles become action ready, which is why when you're feeling anxious, you often also feel restless. Your body wants to move. It wants to use up that adrenaline by running or fighting. And when you can't run or fight, your body will sometimes go into freeze mode, which is it's like a bit like a car, where you've got your foot flat on the accelerator, and then you put your other foot flat on the brake. So the engine is revving, but the car's going nowhere. And that's what freeze is like. So you still have all that anxiety, but you're not moving. And the fight or flight part of it is preparing you to run or to fight for your life. But right now, we're in a lockdown situation where we have to stay at home, which means that our bodies can't escape from the lion, and that increases our level of anxiety. So the symptoms of anxiety are tension, physical tension in your body, and sometimes that will cause pain as well, headaches, sleep issues. And for most people, that might be insomnia. But for some people, you might find yourself wanting to sleep more than usual. Physical pain, often as a result of the tension, or it can be stomach aches and other issues that have a nervous system origin. Many people like to comfort eat when they're anxious, but some people find that they can't eat. They eat less. It's very hard to focus when you're anxious because your mind is on hyper alert, darting all over the place, looking for danger. It's also hard to think clearly because when we're in danger, or the body thinks it's in danger, the primitive part of the brain, the first part to develop, and that's the part that includes hippo, Amy, and high, that is responsible for our survival. And so it takes over. And our rational brain, the last part of the brain to develop, it goes on to go slow. And the body uses the blood it would have sent to that part of the brain to send it to your arms and legs so that they get more oxygen. What can we do about it? The first thing is action, exercise, because that uses up the adrenaline. Your body thinks that you're running or fighting. I know while you're at home that you can't do a lot of exercise that takes up space, but it is also possible to do physical workout kind of exercise in a small space. You can skip, you can run on the spot, you can jump up and down. If you have a mini trampoline, you can use that. If you have a garden, then you can run around the garden. Maybe you have a trampoline in the garden that you can use. There's a woman in Port Elizabeth who ran an Ironman in her own yard. She ran the distance, she swam in her pool, and she used a stationary bicycle for the riding part of it. And she did that because she had signed up for the Ironman, which was cancelled, in order to raise money for a charity. And she still wanted to raise the money for the charity. So she completed the 3 distances so that her friends and family that were supporting her could still support the charity. So if you have some space, it is possible to do some physical exercise. Also, if you live in a block of flats with a flight of stairs, you can run up and down the stairs. That's very good exercise. The other option is to slow down, because this creates feelings in order to create feelings of safety. It's a bit like reverse engineering. By deliberately doing things that you would normally do when you're feeling safe, you create physiological response that feeds back to your brain that you are safe and then it starts to calm down. And Amy starts sending out the ways we can slow down. Some of them are lifestyle things that we can take on, like sleep, making sure that you get the right amount of sleep, not too much, not too little. Laugh a lot, do silly things, have fun. If you're having a wobble or feeling a little anxious and you want to calm down, phone a friend, a trusted friend who will allow you to talk through how you're feeling and encourage you and support you till you feel better. Keep your hands busy. When you're doing things like knitting, crocheting, gardening, cooking, or some kind of hobby that requires working with your hands, that keeps your mind busy too. And it enables you to focus on something other than those anxious thoughts, and that calms your brain down. Body de-stressing. For me, that's a hot bath. I have friends who would prefer a hot shower. You could use some aromatherapy oils, burn them in your room. You don't necessarily only have to use them in your bath. You could use some nice body lotions. If you've got family in the house, perhaps you could take turns to give each other a back rub. Do things that help your body to feel good. Sunshine is also relaxing. If you have some outside space, a garden, a balcony, sit out in the sun for a bit and let that relax you. If you don't have outside space, if you've got a sunny window, sit in the window and let the sun warm you. Being kind. It's important to be kind. Everybody has some level of anxiety at this time, and that tends to make us a little more edgy, a little more impatient. Being kind to others, and also remember to be kind to yourself. Give yourself some slack. Take some time out to just be. And then there are things that we can limit in order to keep yourself calm. And that's things like Facebook updates and other social media information that is distressing. If you need to stay up to date with things that are happening that are distressing, limit that to once or twice for short periods each day. And in between times, if you are on social media, look for the happy stuff or sign up for a course that you've always wanted to do or something interesting. There's loads of stuff on YouTube as well. Interesting things that you could learn or music to listen to. And things to stop are things like alcohol and drug usage, because although they might make you feel better in the short term, in the long term, they actually cause your brain to stay in lion mode. The ways in which we can calm our nervous system more deliberately, actually doing calming things. Your relaxing breath. This is the most important one. It is so easy to do and it is very effective. And the important part of it is that your out breath is longer than your in breath. I'm going to take you through that exercise, but before we get to the actual relaxing breath part, I'm going to ask you just to focus on your breathing. Put one hand on your chest and one hand on your abdomen, and just notice how you breathe. There's no right, there's no wrong way of doing it. Just notice the way you do it. And now, breathe into the bottom of your lungs first. You fill your lungs from the bottom up, and that means that the hand on your belly, your abdomen, will move first. And let it out. And deep into the bottom of your lungs again. And out. And now we're going to do the relaxing breath. Breathing in to the count of 4, hold to the count of 2, and out to the count of 8. Then let's start now. In, 2, 3, 4, hold 2, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, out 2. Sorry, hold 2, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, hold 2, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One last time. In, 2, 3, 4, hold 2, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an exercise you can do anywhere, anytime. And keep breathing that way with your out breath longer than your in breath until you start to feel calm. It's an exercise that's used in various forms with different numbers involved. Some people count 4, 7, 8. And it's used by sports people and celebrities before their shows. It's a very effective way of calming yourself down. And then another way that also uses breathing is slow movement. Things like yoga, qigong, and tai chi. They all include breathing exercises. So you're getting a double benefit there of that slow movement and the breathing that helps your brain to calm down. Then there's what we call orientation. Now, orientation is a safety mechanism that's inbuilt. Whenever you walk into a new place, you will automatically scan the environment to check that it is a safe place to be. So we're going to use that deliberately to create a sense of safety. If you're sitting or lying down, I want you to become aware of the surface that you're sitting on or lying on. If you happen to be standing, then be aware of your feet on the ground. And now look around you and name 5 things that you see. It's important to name them because that helps your brain to focus on them. And now identify 4 sounds that you can hear. And now we move to 3. This is 3 things that you can smell. And if you can't smell anything, remember think of 3 special smells in your life and bring them to mind so that you can actually smell them in the moment. And now 2 tastes. And again, if you don't have 2 tastes in your mouth, imagine that you're tasting again the last 2 things that you ate. Really bring that into your mind in a way that you start to feel those tastes, to have the taste in your mouth again. And now we come to 1. And 1 is again focusing on the surface that you're in contact with. Be that your chair, a couch or a bed that you're lying down, or your feet on the floor. Feel the sensation of contact. What part of your body is contacting the furniture or the floor? And relax into that. That's a useful exercise to do if you're feeling really anxious and panicky. And in that moment, it might be hard to start the relaxing breathing. So if you do this environmental orientation first, that will take your mind off the anxious thoughts. And then you can go into the relaxing breathing to stabilize your body and your nervous system. Then the second orientation exercise we call pendulation. And this one is you need to focus on your body and notice, where do you carry your tension? Is it in your neck, your shoulders, or the back of your head? Is it in your chest, your abdomen, your hands, or even your legs? Notice that place. Feel into, what does it feel like when you're holding tension there? Really focus your attention on the physical sensation of that tension. And now, move your attention to an object close to you. Look at it. If you're at your desk, maybe it's a pen or your phone that's next to you. Maybe you have a vase of flowers in the room. Or it could be a book. Whatever, any object that is close to you, look at it. If you can, pick it up. Feel it. Notice its texture, its color. think about what it means to you. Does it have a story attached to it? Does it facilitate something in your life? And now move back to that place in your body where you hold your tension. What does that feel like now? And when feel yourself in that, feel that tension again. And then move back to the object and examine it again. Feeling the texture, noticing the color, the shape, remembering why it's important to you. What significance does it have in your life? And then move back to that anxious place, the place of tension in your body. What does that feel like now? This exercise is one that you can keep doing until the tension in your body has diminished virtually all the way down to zero. Every time you move out and focus your attention on an external object, you will find that when you go back to the tension place, the tension feels less. The anxiety has reduced. Now, I'm going to take you into a different kind of exercise where we're working more with energy, the feeling of things. I want you to put one hand on your heart and the other hand on top of it and focus internally. Just focus on what it feels like to be in your body in this moment. And now think about if you're feeling anxious, how would you like to feel instead? If your anxiety has calmed down through these other exercises, then think of something that you really want, some heart desire that you have. And now imagine that there's a person or a group of people standing in close to you that wish to give you what it is you desire. The energy, the feeling of what you want instead of anxiety, or whatever your heart desire is. And notice, is there a barrier between you and those people with their gift for you? Notice the size of the barrier, the shape, the texture. Is it outside of you or is it inside of you? Now make a pinprick hole through that barrier and allow just a teaspoon of the energy of that which you desire to come through. And notice where in your body it lands. It lands on your body, in your body, and which part. Then put your hands on that part, in that place where the energy has landed. And feel the energy expanding, softening, and then moving. Allow it to move through your body and notice where it lands. Move your hands to that place and allow the energy to expand, to soften, and then to move. And this time, as it moves through your body, it finds a way to exit your body because energy needs to flow. So what flows in needs also to flow out. Otherwise, it stagnates. Allow that energy to find an exit from your body. And then go back to the barrier, make the hole bigger, and allow some more energy through. The energy of what you desire, the feeling that you want instead of anxiety, or the heart's desire that you thought of. Allow that energy to flow into your body, and again, Notice where it lands. Allow it to expand, soften, and move. It lands somewhere. Again, allow it to expand, soften, and move until it finds its way out of your body. And now go back and notice whether that barrier is still there. If it is, then we will use that as part of the next exercise. If it has diminished, then excellent. You're allowing that energy to flow through your life. So now we're going to move on to the next exercise, which is emotional freedom techniques. This comes from acupuncture. We're going to tap with 2 fingers on various acupuncture points. So I'm going to go back to showing myself in the full screen. Because I want you to copy what I'm doing. And you're going to also need to repeat after me what I say. So we start on the side of the hand, under the bone of the knuckle is, our little finger knuckle is there, and we tap on the soft part below it. You have to say, even though I still have some resistance, feeling calm, that's okay. Even though there's still some anxiety in my body, that's okay. Even though I'm still a bit anxious and it doesn't seem safe not to be anxious, I'm okay. This anxiety that I've been carrying in my body, I still feel it, and name the place in your body where you feel it. All this anxiety, I don't need it. It's not helping me. But it's quite normal to have it. Most people are anxious at this time. So yeah, let me stand up for that point. It's about a hand's width under your armpit. And this. I'm now choosing to let go of that anxiety. I choose to feel calm. I choose to feel peaceful. I choose to let go of that anxiety. It doesn't serve me. I can think more clearly when I'm calm. I choose to feel peaceful. I choose to feel calm. I'm letting peace and calmness flow into my body. Take a deep breath in and let it out. And again, breathe in and out. And give yourself a little shake. And that is a way of calming yourself down and allowing yourself to feel something different. You always start by describing how you're feeling and making that okay. Because only when we accept the way we are feeling can we change it. And then you can move on to tapping in what you want to put in it, how you want to feel instead. If you would like to contact me to find out more about this, you're welcome to do that. There are my contact details if you want to make a note of them. And you can contact me by email or on Facebook, by Messenger, or leaving a comment on my page, or you can go to my website. Thank you for the time that you have been with me, and I hope that you are able to use some of these exercises to keep yourself calm in this time.